I won't smile, ever. Anyways. Alright. Hey gang, I'm RuthAnn.
I'm Chris.
And we all GeekChic Promotions, and we are back for more Nerd Rage!
Yay!
Yay!
I don't even know what day it is.
Who knows? Who cares? Red wine is all that matters.
That's
Cheers
all
to
that
you!
matters.
Cheers to you guys! Cheers!
Ooh,
Back to Malbec.
yummy.
Yes. Alright, so this is actually a subject that's near and dear to my heart that's been bothering me a lot lately. I mean, there's been like different... We've been talking about gatekeeping on the show. We've been talking about a lot about different stuff, but just in general, I'm so glad that geek pop culture is now the pop culture. It's a little weird, though, this kind of social and, like, all this hierarchy that's happening within the geek community. Because, like, to me, I still picture things as, like, an 80s movie, where, like, they're the geeks who sit on this side, there's the popular kids, there's this, there's that, the other, right? We were all just... It didn't matter what flavor of geek we were, or nerd, or whatever. We were just all hanging out at the same spot and just commiserating together. But
Well, it's
now,
like the Breakfast Club, where you get one from each
exactly.
section of high school. Yeah.
And it was fine. But now it feels like the geek pop culture is the high school, and then there's like this crazy hierarchy within it.
Yes.
And I'm talking on all facets of geek pop culture, whether it's comic book based, it's video game, it's whatever it might be.
Which also, by the way, speaking as someone who is at least a decade older than you, and seeing, seeing a lot of these things rise up. So, like, talking to, like, let's just say, like when we talk to Marcus, and he talks about when he was a kid, he always read comic books, especially, like, things like Thanos, where it's this purple guy in a comic, and you're like, never in a million years am I going to see that on the big screen, but it would be so cool if I did, and then all of a sudden it happens, you know, and you're like, and everybody loves it, and you're just blown away. And so it's that kind of thing that I see, where all, like, working at a video game company, where you see these fresh out of college, you know, 21-year-olds, 23-year-olds, who literally, like, are so, like, invested in working in the industry of either comics, video games, or anything that's, like, super nerdy, and you're basically, like, an outcast if you don't like one of those things.
It's the opposite of what we had.
The complete opposite.
Which is so strange.
It's no longer niche.
I mean, and here's the thing. I'm very glad for it. Yes, it's a bit strange for having the kids that used to beat me up for liking this shit, wearing Star Wars stuff and arguing with me. Fine. That's a bit strange. But I just like to say I was right! It is good shit! Join us! But, like, there are the gatekeepers, though, that are really frustrating for me. So, Chris does have her nerd stuff, and I absolutely love it when I see her get super nerdy about stuff.
Everybody. I feel like everybody's got
everybody
that. You got your DBZ shit.
Yeah, exactly. That if you drop that, I'll be like, ugh! Like, let me whip the nerd out.
For instance, she was like, oh, Chris, did you know there's going to be a live-action DBZ thing coming out? And I was like, so?
And then? But Disney's probably going to put it out. Anyways.
On the inside, though, I was like, oh, God.
Not again.
I'm going to have to hear about it for forever.
Love you. What was at the time? I forget what t-shirt you were wearing, but I was wearing a Dragon Ball Z t-shirt, and everyone was complimenting me, and you were just like, I'm wearing a Turner t-shirt. Come on.
Sorry, but, like, come on. Anyway. Clearly, I was in the wrong nerd space.
And here's the thing, is that I don't have a mind for trivia. I don't. I watch all of this stuff, and I absolutely love it, and there's some details that, like, hold on, but if I'm in a trivia thing and you ask me a question, I'll say toaster. I don't know. Like, I'll just totally blank out. But it's just so frustrating, and yes, it's a little more aggressive for us nerd ladies, but this whole thing of, like, oh, well, you're not a fan if you don't know this, that, the other. And, like, specifically what really kind of, like, hit me to my core over this last summer is I was accused of not being a Star Wars fan because I have not watched the cartoon animations.
I haven't either.
Cool. But, like, I just, if I was to pan the camera around, like, my PS4 is a special edition Star Wars PS4. Like, it's just this Star Wars is so important to me. Like, those 3 first original films are so important to me, and I love those films so much.
You know,
I'm not a fan, supposedly.
Yes, and here's the thing with that, like, that I find to be especially interesting is people who, for instance, are into sports. Okay, they're into sports like we are into nerd shit.
I'm sorry, sports fans, you're just a sports nerd. You're just a sports nerd.
Like, if you sit there and you
it's
tell me
literally
all the
called
names of the freaking
fantasy.
players,
It's called fantasy football, guys. You're nerds. Period. Like, it's called fantasy football. You're playing a role-playing game with real-life characters. That's it. Like, you are nerds. Suck it up.
clearly she feels
I have feelings about this. You're just nerds. You absolutely know every single stat of every single character, their backstory, like the whole thing. You're nerds. It's fine. Welcome to the club. Like, ugh. You're freaking cosplaying your favorite character by wearing their jersey to watch the show. Fucking nerds.
Anyway.
Anyways.
So anyway, well, I have not experienced this, by the way, probably because I have a brain for facts.
Her and her boyfriend can literally rattle off stuff. It kind of goes like, it kind of sticks. Like, there's like you know that old, like, those slime toys you'd throw on the wall and they'd stick and kind of like flap, flap, flap all the way down. Yeah. Like, the oil residue of what the fact is still there in my brain. But it's not like I can really remember the color of the sticky thing.
But, okay, here's the difference, though, is that I do not feel the need to prove myself to anyone, okay? I could. 100% could. I
just don't like being questioned. Like, because I don't see dudes being questioned as aggressively as we do. And it's just like, why is this social standing that I love that we've taken back the word nerd. Great. It is now a positive. But like, for this thing that I was disliked for, now I'm not good enough for?
Well, that's definitely a question for your therapist.
Wow. Okay. All right. No, I'm just saying that, like,
though,
do you understand what I'm saying? Because, so, here's where it comes into because I never wanted to, like, I don't like the whole popular thing, like, I didn't like it in high school, I've never liked it. And now I just feel it in the community, and I hate it.
Fun fact, all right.
I'm listening.
So, back when I was a nerd in grade school, let's just say, with my little permed fro.
Pics, or it didn't happen. All right, go on.
I got pics.
Yes.
Anyway, so I had a lot of friends who were in the popular group, and I had a lot of friends who were my friends who eventually through the years left me for the popular group to the point where, like, I literally feel like I maybe had one friend, maybe two in 7th and 8th grade. So all those popular kids, obviously you reconnect over Facebook, right? Like, many years later.
Once you find out you have that commiserating story of growing up in this town, and suddenly you're friends again.
Even went to a reunion where a bully apologized to me for the way he treated me. Yes, which didn't make it better. He bought me a drink and thought that it would be okay, and I was like, but because clearly I grew up to be okay looking, so, like, you know, suddenly there was regret.
That's my favorite. Yeah. Oh, I didn't realize you become hot.
Yeah.
Go fuck yourself. How about that?
Yeah. So here we are, and I'm not going to call names because I don't know who watches this. You know, I posted on my Facebook page, so who knows. But I have noticed an amount of popular kids who are in AA and who are newly sober. And congrats to you, but also could see it coming from a mile away. Because if you're the popular kid who went out and had the parties where you were drinking and got peer pressured into doing a whole bunch of stuff while I was at home reading my comics and nerding out on crap.
Well, there's that, and there's also the fact is that there was so much pressure, and now for them, that probably is usually the best years of their lives. Because I am so sick.
They peaked in high school.
Do another high school movie. Why are we so obsessed with high school movies? And I do have a theory, because obviously we're all little kids inside. We're in the nerd pop culture, that's our job. So yes, we're little kids inside. But it's like this stagnant thing of just like...
the nerd who wants to get with the popular chick.
And I
always.
No, like...
It was like, don't worry, she'll get hers. I'm being really kind of catty right now, and I'm not that way in real life.
This is not our first glass of wine tonight, so yes.
But anyway,
but it's just it's just so frustrating because like I thought that by having geek pop culture being like the culture now that we'd all just be cool.
Yeah.
Like, but it doesn't feel that way. I still feel like I'm treated. Now I'm at the bottom of the chain in the nerd pop culture world.
Which
and it's
also,
like,
by the way,
it just feels weird. I'm like,
who are these people doing this to you? I would like to meet these people.
Right?
Because I have a feeling...
Like neckbeards, most of them. But it's just...
I was going to say, introduce me to these suckers, because if they're being mean to you, good lord.
I mean, there's the internet that's always mean. But it's not even necessarily people being mean, but I am severely weird and socially awkward, and like I get put in these positions where, you know, I feel like I'm back in the cafeteria, but instead of it being like popular kids and this and that the other, it's that we're all nerds, but then we're separated into those again, and it's just like, well, can't we just all
like stuff?
Just like stuff, and it's cool. It's
fine.
I
think it's against human nature. Which, by the way, okay, so talking to my nephews, they watch this, so you know, I'm just gonna. My interpretation of their lives is much different.
Sorry, nephews, that I curse a lot.
Yeah,
sorry.
I know. But anyway, so they don't experience the type of bullying that we did because things are much different these days. They're very accepting of everything. It's a little weird.
Yeah? How is this generation doing? Because I know that, like, even this past, like, generation, whatever, Gen Z or whatever, we're dealing with a much more aggressive bullying via cyberbullying and whatnot. Like,
cyberbullying, yes, but you have to remember 10 years now have passed from Gen Z, so all of the 12-year-olds and 13-year-olds now have learned from that and have grown up much more with technology than the Gen Z people. So you're looking at, they've learned from that. They are kinder to people. They are more accepting.
Good job, guys.
They have 2 moms. They have 2 dads. Like things that are happening that like a lot of Gen Zers didn't experience, where they do the cyberbullying now. With the school shootings, they're growing up like learning how to, you know, protect themselves like that. Like that's the generation now. They've been doing.
Maybe they'll be nicer to other nerds. Because here's the thing too, is that like
they seem to be honest, they seem to be. And that's like, okay, I can't imagine it because, like, there's, in no world would I have kids that age. So, like, I'm trying to think of, like, God, if I was, like, a mom right now, but, like...
Dipshit years. That's the years you're talking about. Those are the dipshit years for
Dude! Okay, side note.
What is it, 4 until 12 is your dipshit year?
They're
like
dipshit years at this point. Okay, so we went out to breakfast this morning.
Yeah.
And we elected to sit outside even though it was hot because it was quicker. So we sat outside to eat, and they had a reservation for 25 people, okay, out on the patio.
Oh, boy.
And it turned out to be a Little League team, okay, that came in. Super adorable. And we even listened to the speeches that the coaches gave, which is like, you gave it your best shot. And, like, and it was so adorable. And then I realized I could have a child that was going into college. I was like, there's no earth where I would have a kid that young. Like, ever. It was like this realistic thing. Like, holy crap.
Oh, that would be my kid.
Yeah, that'd be your kid.
Ugh.
Which, by the way, caused me to bring up this thing to Marcus, where I was like, hey, remember your birthday when we were all hanging out and, like, Tony was there, and Tony asked Jen and Edgar, like, if they had any kids, and they were like, no, and he just sighed deeply, and he goes, I love L.A. It's
but
like
it's
that.
true.
No one
I mean,
has
like,
kids.
It's surprising that as many people that we know are married, because that's generally not even a thing out here, because when you come out here, you don't come out here to settle down. You stay in the Midwest, or you stay in
when they have children,
Vermont.
You never see them again. It's just a fact.
Also true.
Yeah, because people with kids don't really hang out with people without kids.
You can't, because you're forming a life.
You hang out with other parents because you have play dates. Yeah. That's how that goes. So I'll be seeing you later. When RuthAnn has kids. I've already been preparing her for when she has kids.
I know, she's like, I'm out.
You're never gonna see me. I'm sorry.
What was the age? You're like, oh no, you said you'd be like, oh, cute baby, and then like out for like 16 years, and you come back when they're 18. I'm like, cool.
Literally the age of 2.
Right, fair enough.
Like, I love
It's when they start
babies.
talking and shit.
Yeah, and then they start talking, and then they're all drooly, and they're like, oh, and I'm like, okay, I'm done. Like, maybe you might get me for another year because I love you.
She still
but,
loves you, nephews.
Ooh. It's gonna take a lot, guys. You better be really freaking cute. Oh my god.
Yeah. But anyways.
Back on track.
It's such a weird thing because I love the fact that all of my friends are nerds now. Like, look at it, like 5 years ago, I didn't, like, other than you were the nerdiest person I knew.
Wow, really?
Remember?
Damn.
Like, that was it. I was
Marcus
hanging out with,
was
like,
the nerdiest person I knew.
Yeah, so it was like you and Marcus
damn.
were the nerdiest people I knew.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was just, like, super straight-laced people who I had no idea how to talk to, but somehow I did. I think I did all right. I even dated a few.
I can vouch for that.
But, like, I love it, but it's, now I'm just back being an awkward teenager again, and I don't want that.
Kind of
I just
weird
want to
thing.
feel, I don't know. Maybe it's just recently I've just been getting kind of harassed online and whatnot, because I understand, because there was that time of, like, people pretending to be nerds for attention, but at the end of the day, if you say you're a fan of something, even if you get, like, details wrong, or if you haven't seen the whole thing, I'm gonna talk to you about it, and we can nerd out about it, and, like, if you haven't seen something, I'll try not to spoil it for you, like...
You know what, there used to be a time, and this is true, when, because for my job, you know, I would have to go to cons, obviously, and talk to people, a lot of people. And so I would watch every single show on TV and watch all the movies simply, not because I liked them, but so I could talk to people about them.
Yeah.
Because there was inevitably somebody who would be like, oh, hey, do you watch blah, blah, blah? And if the answer was no, the conversation would die.
Yeah, and you're like, okay.
Yeah. Because
Scene.
nerds. Because nerds. You know, there's no, like, there's just not a good communication thing happening there at conventions. And so I made it my job to basically keep up on everything so that no matter who spoke to me, I could have a conversation with them and be like, oh yes, and I remember an episode blah blah blah. And, oh my god, that was great. And or they did it really crappy, and I don't think it's gonna come back for a second season. You know, stuff like that, which I feel made a lot of people feel at ease and feel like they could talk to me about things, and therefore want to submit to my publishing company, which they did. And so I don't understand why more people don't have that kind of thought process.
I think it's the type of nerds that did grow up like us and did get ridiculed or beat up or whatever for liking things we liked. So then it became this very precious and personal thing, and you can't have it. You don't know.
Right.
This is mine. Like, I fought for this. Which part of that I understand.
But also the internet. Like, you can find people who...
But the internet, yeah.
Like that anywhere you go. You can just literally post about it, and you'll get a million people being like, yeah, I do that too. Like, you're no longer alone. You know what I mean? It's no longer precious. So that might be a remnant.
I think it's usually
living before the internet.
Oh yeah. Oh,
you know?
100%. It's people in our age group that were such aggressive nerds, mostly men. That I mean, I'm not trying to be sexist or anything, but are very much gatekeeping and like, you don't know, and it's like, okay,
well,
then
I mean,
tell
there's
me.
Literally a whole movement dedicated to keeping women out of stuff like this.
So thanks, guys.
I mean, which is never gonna fly, by the way. It just
I still don't
isn't.
understand. Like, America is so ass backwards. I mean, look at Japan and the manga specifically, and anime as well, but specifically manga is, I would say, 90% female based and for women, and that's why it does so well.
Yeah.
Because guess what? We all like the same shit.
But it's not the people in charge who are this way. It's the fans.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's not like they're professionals on the other side gatekeeping. It's essentially fans who are fans of something, not wanting you to like what they like.
Yeah, and this actually goes back to one of our Nerd Rages, maybe even over a year ago when we first were starting this. Oh my gosh, wait, it's actually been 2 years we've been doing this. Hi.
No, not yet. Well,
yeah, we're about to hit 2 years soon.
Oh my god, we are. Holy crap.
That's awesome. Hi, guys. But talking about when nerds love something, it becomes like a possession, and and that's what happens with a lot of these movies or remakes or reboots or whatever.
They get mad at the people making them. Yeah.
We get mad because like, no, this is ours. How could you take this away? Because like,
that's not my Star Wars.
Yeah. Everybody who's ever spoken to me about Star Wars knows I hate the prequels. I know they exist. I know they made money. I know people like them. I just don't like them. Does that change my love for the original movies? No. Does it change the fact that, like, I really like Force Awakens? I very much like that Star Wars movie.
If you meet somebody and they're like, oh my god, the prequels are amazing.
I literally did just this past weekend when, like, he actually walked in when we were, like, finishing up Empire Strikes Back, and he's like, oh, but you watched the prequels first, right? And I was like, no, those movies can burn in hell. And I wasn't paying attention to his age, because he was a much younger gentleman, and those are the movies he knew first.
Yep.
Which upsets me even more that those movies could have been so good.
No. But you can't, because they're good to some people, though. That's
the
lesson you take away from this.
But you could have...
Is that he thought they were great. They were what he grew up on.
I know, but, like, it could have... all I'm saying is it could have connected to the originals much better. Because...
in your opinion.
It's... okay.
See?
It's just that it goes against so much that's in the originals. There's so many loopholes and so much contradictions that I want to scream, and they could have done... okay.
But see, don't be a gatekeeper, RuthAnn.
That I still... No, I still consider them a fan of Star Wars. Great. I don't agree. That would be like if somebody loved... they're like, oh, yeah, I love Indiana Jones. The Crystal Skull is my favorite movie. I'd be like, ugh. Can we just go back and watch the originals real quick? Just real quick. Hold on.
Well, that's the thing. That's the beauty of being a nerd, is that everyone's allowed
like what you like.
Favorites. Yeah. It's fine.
There's people who love the Twilight movies and books.
Don't
Good
get me wrong.
for you.
Look, if somebody were to say that to me, I'd be like, oh, really? Like, I'm not like you. I don't like, oh my god, but everything's wrong in it, and holy crap, nothing connects. Like, I don't do that.
What's so funny?
In my brain, though, I just look at you and I judge.
Yeah, like, judge.
But I don't say anything.
I mean, the only thing I said out loud was those should burn in hell, and then as soon as he's like, I think they're masterpieces, and I'm like, oh, I should start turning up the volume of Empire Strikes Back, because I was like, we're watching real Star Wars now. Hold on. But I should never even said that. Like, I should have bit my tongue, because as soon as I looked over, I can't tell people's age.
You can have an opinion. Like, that's the thing. He's got his, you've got yours. Agree to disagree. There's no and you're fine with it. You let it go. Like, it's fine.
It's fine.
Other people can't let it go. That's the problem.
Yeah, you can let it go.
I mean, it's the same thing with, like, the Ghostbusters and the reboot. Like, it's, God, you can pinpoint so many examples. Like, the next Ghostbusters movie was like, we're going to pretend like that one didn't exist. Well, what about all the people who loved it?
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
Jerks.
Exactly. So, you know, it's
I
just...
liked it.
Why do we
I didn't love it.
Why do we
liked it a lot.
crap on everything? It's like...
That is the biggest part of the nerd pop culture that I don't like right now. It's like, if you love something, just love it. Like, my favorite is the people that get all like, as soon as a lot of people are really getting to Game of Thrones, but that's all of our big people. There's always those like people who are like, I've never watched Game of Thrones. It's dumb. It's like, okay, bye. Like,
well, sure.
It's great talking to you. Or like even with Disney Plus landing a couple weeks ago, like everybody's just been like.
If you don't have Disney Plus.
Yeah, where's my Disney Plus, like, whatever. Can I also say, I forgot to talk about this weeks ago when we did our Disney Plus one. But my favorite meme I've ever seen, which was, the Netflix and chill, and it had an X in it. It was Disney Plus this dick.
All right, that's pretty good. I'm not going to lie. That one's pretty great.
It shouldn't have made me laugh as hard as it did, but it really did.
Right,
Disney Plus this dick.
Well,
but yeah, I mean that's the thing, is anybody shitting on people they like. Oh wait, no, sorry. I mean that's, and at the end of the day, that's one of the bigger problems is this toxic nerd culture,
right?
That I don't like. And it's great that we're able to get
the people who
basically trolls. I don't like trolls.
Didn't download Disney Plus, but are now hearing all the great things about The Mandalorian, who are like telling people that they're just gonna pirate it. I hate you. Because
straight up,
this is why we can't have nice things. Like, why don't you just pay the
it's
damn
fucking
$7?
The most it is $7
right?
a month.
Like, I don't, like, just...
And you also get a month free when you sign up, so...
Also, in an industry where, like, independent creators are struggling to get their stuff bought, like, you're the kind of person that pirates things and doesn't pay.
Do you remember those old
like
school commercials of, like, pirating is illegal? Like, remember the guy selling the DVDs on
Which
the set?
did not help anything.
Anything. It just became a parody of itself.
Oh, my God.
But
yeah, it's wrong.
it's wrong. And
It's
I just want everybody to be happy for each other. If you love your thing, love your thing.
The people who put it out deserve the money. Like, they do.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It's what'd you say, $1.5 million per episode of Mandalorian?
Yeah. And it's worth it. It's worth it.
God, if only Firefly came out now.
Oh, I know.
That would have gone on for like 7 seasons.
Yeah.
Fuck. Ugh.
That's okay. Nathan Fillion's the rookie now.
Yeah, I gotta catch up on that show.
I love that show so much because I'm old.
Oh, Nathan Fillion, you're such a gentleman.
He's the best.
Oh, Nathan Fillion, you're the best.
All right.
Anyway. I almost, when I served you, I was like, a good lady.
Good sir. Sorry.
We like that show a little too much.
Anyway, okay, let's wrap this up. We're done.
Wrap it up. So, guys, love you. Stay nerdy. Stay raged.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. And we will see you next week.
Yes.
Back for live together again.
Yay!
Yay! All right. Love you all. We will see you next week.
See you next week.
Bye, guys.